Department is switching its 911 dispatching services providers. And Singapore Airlines experiences fatal turbulence. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Donovan Varney and welcome to Newswatch. With temperatures tipping the scale, today is the hottest May 21st Athens has experienced since 1984. Joining us from College Green is weather forecaster Isabel Isco. Isabel, thanks for joining us. It is a hot one out there. How are you handling it?
It is definitely a hot one. Thank you, Donovan. It has been an almost historic heat day with about 89 degrees, tying with that historic heat with the hottest ever May 21st. When dealing with the heat index this hot, it can be dangerous for outdoor workers. I talked with some workers on how they beat that summer heat.
We actually took a break. We trained for about an hour and a half, and then we took a break and we played in the water for about 20 or 30 minutes.
The gas station that we're in for their parking lot, they're really good about letting us refill our water bottles for free, which we're really thankful for because I've chugged already 3 water bottles. So definitely just making sure that we're staying hydrated and watching after each other. If we get too hot, just go sit down in the shade for a little bit.
Not pushing guys to where they're out here killing themselves. We're not out here trying to get as much as we can. If they get overheated, every truck's got AC, take breaks, take water breaks, and just take your time doing the work.
And we had some freeze pops. You can never beat freeze pops whenever it's this hot.
The kindness of others really goes a long way when dealing with this heat. They're always looking out for their coworkers. Heat disorders start to become very serious whenever you're looking at those temperatures above those high 80s. Yeah,
definitely. It's sure good. It sure is good to see all these workers across Athens have finally found ways to stay cool in the job in all the hot weather. Isabel, speaking of the weather, how's it going to look the rest of the day?
Yes, we've had that historic 89-degree day, but from the beginning of the day, that 24-hour outlook, you could see that even last night, we weren't reaching temperatures below those 60s. We just dipped into those high 50s for Athens. You could see on that radar for now, for Southeast Ohio, you're seeing temperatures in those high 80s all throughout. The only part of Ohio that's really getting below those 70s is Huntington, where they're also getting a little bit of rain. You could see on that radar those little blips of rain here in there for Huntington. But other than that, in Southeast Ohio, it has been a hot one. It has been sunny. Hopefully you had that sunscreen on. That UV has been very high today with those clear skies throughout the day. You could see on that next radar that has been some pretty severe weather out into the Midwest, and we're going to be seeing that going into this weekend, going into the Memorial Day, and even starting into this weekend. So definitely be on that lookout for some rain after some of these beautiful days we've had.
Thanks, Isabel. This weekend, the Nelsonville Pool will be opening for their 2024 season. The Aquatic Center will open at noon on Saturday, and it provides various swimming and safe water practices for families. The pool will be open from 12 to 6 every day of the week. Nelsonville's water department has issued a boil order for areas of the city. On your screen are the areas which are under this boil order, which was issued yesterday and is in effect until Wednesday at noon. The boil order was called due to new water line tie-ins and advises those who are affected to boil cooking and drinking water for at least 3 minutes before consumption. If you are in need of assistance from the Nelsonville Police Department, you will need to call a new number now. Starting June 1st, the Athens County 911 dispatcher will handle both non-emergency and emergency calls from Nelsonville. This switch comes just after the department says it experienced poor dispatching services from the Hocking College service. The new non-emergency phone number is 740-753-1992. In case of emergencies, you should still call 911. The Streamline Emergency Dispatch Services Guernsey County Sheriff's Department is taking on a new partner. Guernsey County Sheriff's Department is partnering with Citizens Connect, an initiative from Carbine. Citizen Connect is an online data system that will provide Guernsey County 911 dispatchers with vital information about the caller. For registered users, dispatchers will have access to designated medical information and can alert your selected emergency contacts. For more information on how to register, you can visit Guernsey County Sheriff's Department's website. The design phase has begun for what will be the 5th roundabout in Athens. This roundabout will replace the traffic signals at the intersection of State Route 56 and State Route 682. The project will also adjust drainage systems and install new intersection lighting in the process. Athens Mayor Steve Patterson says roundabouts continue to limit carbon emissions in the area and will help to reduce backed up traffic down West Union Street. The city expects the project to be done by early 2025. The Outdoor Recreation Council of Appalachia will have to wait to get funds from the city of Athens. Council approved an amendment to the ordinance authorizing the mayor to pay $90,000 membership fees. It requires the city's cash reserves to reach 9% before the payment is made. City Auditor Kathy Hecht says she doesn't know when or if the current 5.93% balance will return to 9%. The fund is supposed to stay at or above 7.5% and was below 6.5% in April. Oak Hill High School football has a vacancy at their head coach position after former coach Tyler Kratzenberg's supplemental contract was not renewed for the next season. A community meeting was held on April 28th that featured more than 100 members with one mission: to save Coach Kratzenberg. Today, during the school board meeting, the board approved a motion to hire someone new as the football team's head coach, eliminating Kratzenberg's opportunity to return to the position. Now, coming up, Singapore Airlines experiences fatal mid-air turbulence, and how students across the nation are making a statement on their big day.
It has been a hot and sunny one out here in Athens. Will we continue to see those sunny skies, or is it looking like a rainy one for Memorial Day weekend? Next on Newswatch.
It's incredible. How do you find these things?
On Finding Your Roots, Jesse Williams.
Before anybody even tried to get to know me or talk to me, it's just, what are you?
And Sunny Hostin.
It was a constant question.
Complex identities revealed.
I feel more full. It just completes a picture.
And an ancestor's powerful act.
He signed
in an
document with
X.
an X.
Now you got me crying.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, what's it like to be in the presence of a famous figure?
I was actually right behind Jimi Hendrix's bell bottom there.
So the 70s fashion blocked your head out of this photo.
Exactly.
When I was young and crazy, I was invited to work for her for a while.
They said to me, "Who's your favorite Yankee?" And I said, "Oh, Mickey Mantle." And Mickey Mantle came to speak to me.
Don't miss Antiques Roadshow. I was there.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Times are changing.
Every nut and bolt, you know its breaking point, but the humans have not been quantified.
I'm here to serve, I'm here to learn, I'm here to grow, and so whatever happens, just remember that.
I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at 39.
You never know what's gonna happen if you don't give up.
Holding it together is more exhausting than the disease itself.
You might live.
You have to hunt. If you don't do subsistence activities, you die.
It connects us to our past.
Last night, a Singapore Airlines jet took off from London when violent turbulence tossed around passengers and other objects inside the plane. As Lisa Algieri tells us, the battered jet landed safely early this morning, but many more passengers required medical care.
This was not the landing passengers aboard a Singapore Airlines flight from London overnight were expecting. Ambulances, triage tents, and a swarm of medical personnel tending to dozens of injuries suffered by those on board when violent turbulence rocked the Boeing jet mid-flight.
This tragic incident will be investigated to see whether the pilots had gotten a warning that they were coming into a dangerous area.
At least one fatality was reported after the diverted plane, originally bound for Singapore, landed safely in Bangkok, Thailand early Tuesday morning. The airline confirmed the death in a social media post, adding that there were 211 passengers and 18 crew members on flight SQ321. Most of the injured passengers suffered cuts and bruises, said an airport official in Bangkok, who added that many on the jet were wearing seatbelts at the time of the turbulence. Singapore's Ministry of Transportation confirmed it has opened an investigation into the incident, and in the same statement said they will deploy their own safety experts to Thailand.
They need to make sure there hasn't been significant fatigue to the structure. It's possible the aircraft will be a total loss.
The plane was a Boeing 777-300. The aircraft maker responded to the deadly event in their own statement, saying the company is standing by to support Singapore Airlines, extends their condolences, and is keeping all of the passengers and crew in their thoughts. Thai authorities say almost 200 passengers are awaiting other flights to their destinations, while some of the injured remain at local hospitals. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Singapore Airlines flight SQ321 likely encountered rapidly developing thunderstorms over southern Myanmar on Tuesday during the time that extreme turbulence was reported. Many students across the nation from the graduating class of 2024 are walking out of their commencement ceremonies. Students from Yale University joined in too, calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. One Yale graduate shares her thoughts on how it was the right thing to do.
It says there's no graduation in Gaza right now, and so it's actually quite symbolic for us to do this on our graduation day.
Some parents of graduating students also supported the move on their students' big day. Target is cutting prices on thousands of popular items. Effective now, prices on a wide range of household products and food are going down. The retailer is trying to lure back inflation-wary shoppers. Target says prices on 1,500 items have already been cut, with thousands of additional deals to be had by the end of the summer. Memorial Day weekend is expected to be one of the busiest travel weekends in nearly 2 decades, according to the AAA. So when is the best time to avoid the roads? Jen Sullivan has tips for travelers driving or flying to their destination in today's Consumer Watch.
If you're driving or flying this Memorial Day weekend, expect plenty of company on the roads and in the skies.
We're expecting the second busiest Memorial Day weekend of air travel since we started tracking at the beginning of the century.
AAA estimates nearly 44 million people will travel 50 miles or more this holiday weekend. That's a 4% increase from last year. Most people will be driving to their destination, with more than 38 million drivers expected to be on the roads. So, when's the best time to avoid the traffic?
We see the busiest times to be on the road is Thursday and Friday evenings, when you've got the travelers mixing in with the regular commuters.
Heading out before 11 a.m. on Thursday or after 7 p.m. on Friday and returning home after 7 p.m. on Monday night is the best time to be driving. And when it comes to gas prices, expect to pay slightly more this year. The national average price for a regular gallon of gas as of Monday was $3.59, according to AAA. That's about 5 cents higher than this time last year. If you're driving, it's not just your tank you should check.
Folks should check their tire pressure, make sure everything in their car is in working order before you set out on a long road trip.
Airports will likely see a spike in travelers too. More than 3.5 million people will be flying. It's expected to be the most crowded Memorial Day weekend at airports since 2005. So give yourself plenty of time to check in and get through security. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Yeah, Isabel, I don't know about you, but I'm probably going to stay put during Memorial Day weekend. Travel is, I don't know right now. It seems pretty busy.
I mean, I would hope that you're outside for Memorial Day, but this weather isn't looking the best for going outside for Memorial Day weekend. I know, it's hard to say. But looking into tonight's weather, we can see that tonight we're going to be seeing those overnight temperatures of those 60s. You can see, I can't stop talking about this historic heat that we've been having. Athens at 89 in May. Honestly, very, very surprising. I'm back inside now. It's a lot cooler inside, but out there it was feeling pretty bad for how hot it is. You could see Athens tonight, that overnight low only reaching 65. That is very, very high for this time of year and even for nighttime temperatures with those mostly clear skies. Hopefully, and it's kind of bad, but get out there, get to enjoy those higher nighttime temperatures. I know I took a walk last night, and I'll probably be doing the same thing today. Looking at that regional radar, we're very clear here in southeast Ohio, a couple pop-ups that I was talking about earlier, but you can see on that regional radar what is coming for us for the rest of this week. We're seeing some pretty severe weather off to the Midwest, parts of Iowa and out there, but you can see just how severe it is. They're in that moderate storm risk. You could see some severe storms from that, some pop-up thunderstorms and some severe storms from that. And that's just coming towards us. It is going to be definitely decreasing in severity. We're still looking at slight risks for tomorrow. From that national radar, the past 24 hours, you could just see that it has been growing, but it is starting to fall off, going to be getting a little bit calmer before it starts heading for us this week. Tomorrow, 60% chance of showers. Those showers are going to be hitting us more tomorrow night than during the day. That temperature high of 85, get to enjoy that before we start heading into those showers. 60%, that low of 63. Looking 12 hours ahead, like I said, tomorrow morning your commute is going to be on that drier side and is just before the storm comes in. We're going to get a little clearing before the storm. 24 hours ahead, that's whenever we see parts of Ohio getting just a little bit of rain. That, again, 36 hours ahead, that's whenever it's going to be starting to ramp up. You can see this low pressure system that is going to be making its way up the coast and be hitting us looking into this week and into this weekend. We're also going to be seeing just a little bit of cooling. It's kind of hard to say cooling whenever we're still going to be in those 70s for Thursday. You can see on that radar, on that 7-day outlook, we're looking at rain all week, even for your Memorial Day weekend. It is going to be a gloomy one out there, so definitely get to enjoy those clear skies while you have them. Right now, that severity has been looking more at Wednesday night into Thursday. Some severe storms, not too severe, just some thunderstorms, some lightning Wednesday into Thursday night. But other than that, we're going to be needing that umbrella and that rain jacket for that rest of the week. It's going to be looking like a gloomy Memorial Day weekend.
Thanks, Isabel. Testimony concluded today in former President Donald Trump's historic criminal hush money trial in New York. The defense rested after calling just 2 witnesses, but we still have to see and wait for at least a week for closing arguments. Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook has all the day's courtroom developments.
After 20 days, both sides have now finished calling witnesses in former President Donald Trump's first criminal trial.
I have no choice. It's not that I like doing this, sitting in an icebox all day for 7, 8, 9 hours.
With another group of allies in the background Tuesday morning, Trump once again slammed the merits of the New York case and the judge presiding over it.
We won the case by any standard. Any other judge, he would have thrown this case out. Any other judge would have thrown this case out.
His defense team called just 2 witnesses, a paralegal for one of Trump's attorneys and Robert Costello, a lawyer connected with key prosecution witness Michael Cohen. During his testimony, Costello butted heads with Judge Juan Merchan. The judge threatened to remove him from the stand after he audibly complained when Merchan sustained objections to the questions he was being asked.
Look, if I was prepping Costello, I would say, like, don't do the whole fight the judge thing. That's not going to help us. But at the end of the day, the substance of the testimony is still very damaging if believed. And if you don't believe it, then you're still right back to Cohen's credibility as a whole, which is irredeemable.
Trump is charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records to cover up reimbursement for a $130,000 payment made to adult film star Stormy Daniels to keep her from going public about an alleged affair with Trump. The former president has denied the affair and pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Despite repeatedly saying he would be willing to testify in his own defense, Trump did not take the stand. Closing arguments are expected to take place next Tuesday. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Next step, how you can watch out for signs of skin cancer. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube.
The legacy that you leave is people think of you and what touches their heart to the point that they remember.
We talked about that a lot, like how does this team want to be remembered? And we worked hard to be remembered, differently than everybody else.
If you put your name on someone's heart, that's going to last. Ultimately, that's more important than a championship.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
I wish the American public understood war the way warriors understand war.
It's not just another job. You're going in a hot area and someone's gonna die. I have never been so full of life.
When we talk about war, we're talking about what it means to be human.
Either I'm gonna live or I'm gonna die.
They had put me in a body bag. Thank goodness somebody unzipped it.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
On American Experience.
There will be a curfew starting at 11 o'clock.
We have cities all across the country up in flames.
Johnson's being faced with pressure to do something.
Creating a presidential commission was the best option.
The Kerner Commission told the truth, but it was a harsh truth.
There is this problem. Let's not sweep it under the rug.
The Riot Report on American Experience.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
More than 100,000 melanomas are estimated to be diagnosed this year. While people with darker skin have a lower risk of this skin cancer, research shows it's often not detected and diagnosed until a later stage, leading to lower survival rates. Mandy Gaither has more with an oncologist on how to spot cancer on darker skin.
It's a skin cancer myth experts are trying to debunk. Cancer doesn't only develop on light skin. Anyone can get it, but it may be different on darker skin.
When that melanoma appears, it doesn't really appear in sites that we commonly think where melanoma shows up.
The American Cancer Society says that while melanomas aren't common on darker skin, when they do occur, they may be hard to spot. It can look like this on the sole of feet, or appear under a fingernail or on the palm of a hand. Melanoma can also grow in or near the scalp like this, which is why experts say it's critical to know your skin and watch for changes.
If you're not looking at those places that you don't typically think about, then when the melanoma is caught, it may be more advanced, it can be deeper.
Other skin cancers can look different on darker skin too, including basal cell carcinoma, which might look lighter or darker than the person's usual skin tone. Kaposi sarcoma, it usually appears as tumors on the skin or places like inside the mouth, but can happen on other parts of the body too. And squamous cell carcinoma, most of which can be cured with treatment or minor surgery.
The same concept of looking for something that looks different than everything else that might be in that area, looking for something that's new, and if it's non-healing or bleeding, those are all reasons to bring it to the attention of your healthcare provider.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
With summer heating up, it's even more important to think about food safety. According to the Center for Disease Control, 1 in 6 Americans could get sick from food poisoning this year alone. But the Ohio Department of Health has some tips about how to prevent foodborne illness. They recommend keeping food separate while shopping, thoroughly cleaning before and during food preparation, and making sure food is cooked fully before eating. Still ahead, new studies show how otters are adapting to new food chains. And finally tonight,
and we have liftoff.
They're some of the biggest discoveries in science.
Trying to understand what dark matter is and what dark energy is.
And the biggest mysteries left to solve.
We have no clue about what this stuff is, but it is profoundly important.
Decoding the universe. Cosmos. On Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
We must save our oceans, and we must also feed ourselves. Thankfully, there are people trying to do both.
There's no reason why more people shouldn't have access.
This kind of creative farming is extremely important.
I want you to fish, but I want you to fish smart.
Sustainability is to extend life, not just of the fish, but of us.
If you don't drive it, donate it and support something you use every day.
Today can be a new beginning.
Bright things ahead, darling. Brightness and joy.
That's genuinely classy.
I just want to be right here in this moment with you.
You set kind of a high bar.
I'm just getting started.
Television will never be the same again.
Magnificent.
To go after new forms of prey when they can't find their favorite types of food. That's according to a study published in journal Science. It looked at the use of tools like rocks and glass bottles and how it affected otters' health and nutrition. Researchers analyzed data on 196 otters in California. They found that when otters faced more competition for their favorite foods, they often used tools to pry open the shells of harder and larger prey. Researchers said these skills may increase their chances of survival. Yeah, Isabel, I don't know about you, but I love otters. I actually just watched a movie about otters the other day. I was really interested in it, but yeah, I love otters.
The otters, they are just so cute. I'm so jealous of them getting to swim around in that water.
I know.
I wish I was in that pool today with how hot it was out there. You could see that out there today. We were having some historic high days. So today, that 89 degrees out there really hit it off. But looking into the rest of this week, we are going to be seeing some rain into tomorrow. Looking more like tomorrow night, we are going to be cooling down just a little bit throughout the week.
Okay.
But right now, still tomorrow, we're going to be seeing temperatures as high as 85 degrees. Those are going to cool down to those 70s, heat right back up. You're seeing right there, currently out there in Athens, it is 88, going into that overnight low of 65 tomorrow, that high of 85, like I was saying, and that the 60% chance of showers that are going to be hitting us later into the night. You could see off into the Midwest, they're having some pretty severe weather in those reds and yellows and oranges. And Thursday, we're going to be starting to see that severity come towards us, even starting into tonight. We're going to be having a little bit of a cool down with that cold front coming through. Then we're going to be seeing a little bit of relief, but still that rain on rain throughout the week. You could see on that 7-day outlook, we're looking rainy throughout. The only time that we're really going to be seeing some relief is tomorrow morning. Looking at the rest of the week, we're going to be seeing that severe chance of thunderstorms looking into Saturday and Sunday. But other than that, we're looking at a rainy week ahead.
Well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for watching. For Isabel Isco, I'm Donovan Varney. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.